But now that you mentioned Lutron, that's the other thing I've been playing with is I want to get automated blinds when my budget
Yeah.
recovers. And they seem to have the ones that one of my neighbors has them, and they're awesome. Like he's got, I don't know if he uses Home Assistant, but they open and close like with the angle of the sun. Like it just it. I've talked to them. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that, do I just go in on the Lutron light switches as well for the automations? Do you use their bridge, Rohan, to get it into Home Assistant?
I
Or?
do. Yeah. It's a bit of a hack to get it to work. So I think they use some proprietary version of like, I don't know, probably Zigbee or something like that. So it's not, you can't just use a standard Zigbee stick. I think you have to use their bridge. And then there's like two versions of the bridge. There's like the basic one and the plus or whatever they call it. The plus, I think, allows you to like telnet into the box or like do whatever, and then pull a certificate out. The normal one, which is what I have, you need to do like this like whole little thing where you go in and run a script, and that script may or may not work. Try another script, whatever. Pull out the certificates for it, and then because Home Assistant needs those certificates for it to work. So so once you have those certificates, then it's been solid since. I mean, I think I've had to do it once, and that was it. But other than that, it was So once you have that, then everything talks to the bridge. But as you add new devices and stuff, it just kind of pops up. It works really well, and it has been, knock on wood, super solid, right?
So does that bridge get updates? Because my concern is if I go all in on this, they pull who's the remote control company that closed up their stuff?
Oh God,
Logitech.
Logitech. Do they pull a Logitech and lock that down? And I spent all this money and now I'm screwed.
And like brick it. Yeah, it's entirely possible. One of the things I do like about it is still locally controlled, so it's not cloud control.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, do I do this? But the Logitech stuff was locally controlled, and then they locked it down. Like, so is it connected? Like, I haven't done enough research on it, and we're probably going down a rabbit hole here, but is it internet connected as well, or is it just all local?
It is internet connected. The Home Assistant integration, I think, hits it locally. So technically, if you break that internet connection, I haven't tried it because I'm kind of like, all right, whatever. I've spent all this money. I guess I'm in. But if you do block it, I think it should still work. Maybe that's something I should try. I don't know, but yeah.
I would assume so. I just don't want them to pull a Logitech after I spend gobs of money. Doing all
that. That's my biggest fear because I only have Lutron switches and I've got a couple of their Pico remotes and stuff like that because just stupid bylaws that are by me. It's like my guest bathroom doesn't have light switches inside it, so I've had to use the remote. It's actually outside of it, and not even on the outside, like the outside wall of it. It's on a it's on the next wall next to it, right? So I've got a little hallway right outside my door here, and it's on the far wall, not on the same wall that you share with the guest bathroom, which is right next door to me here. It's the dumbest thing. So I put, and literally one, I think I mentioned this on the podcast, but we had a guest stay over and she literally showered in the dark. She's like, I don't know where this is. And we were still asleep. And she was like, I'm just going to shower in the dark. And I was like, oh my goodness. That's not acceptable for that's not an experience I want for anybody that comes to visit my house.
Identify the problem, design the solution.
100%. And but they do have these really cool wall plates, right? That the Pico remotes fit into, and it looks like an actual switch. So I'm like, okay, that's really neat. So we did that, but so I do really, really like the product. I mean, full disclosure, they did send us like a media kit once and stuff, but that's because of how much I talk about it and how much I use their products. I do genuinely like their stuff, right? But yeah, to your point, Mike, I'm like, please don't pull a Logitech, right? As much as I'm all in on local control, but there's certain, again, and a big thing for me is it's just the depth of my wall box, because behind each one of my wall boxes, I have like 17 neutral cables just like cranked together, right? And it's like so fat and can't do it.
That was my old house. Thankfully, not my new one, because the Innovelli ones are quite chunky. So
yeah. But
Rohan, with those remotes, how do you find, like, is there the possibility that you can just pull it off the wall and take it with you? Mm-hmm. Can you then like lose it in the back of the couch? Is there like a find remote button that you can use?
There's not. I mean, I only use it where I put it up on the wall, so that's that's hopefully not a concern. Depending on how well my screws hold up, but other than that, it's I technically I do have one that's floating around somewhere. I couldn't tell you where it is, so I guess, but there is no find functions, at least that I know of. Maybe there is, and I just never looked. But yeah, there isn't. So you probably will lose in the back of your couch. So
fair enough.
But just leave it on the wall, Phil, and don't worry about it.
Just keep it simple.
I think that's the answer.